The most recent large wave of immigration from China to Taiwan was between 1949 and 1955. Coming at the end of Chinese Civil War, it seemed like a retreat of the nationalist army and the government, and it felt like it, but the guys in charge called it a tactical shift. Let's position ourselves to look at this group of Taiwanese. The year was 1949. World War II had ended 4 years prior, but Civil War was still raging in China. It was General Chiang Kai-shek and his Chinese Nationalist Party versus Chairman Mao Zedong and his Chinese Communist Party. However, Chiang was on the ropes as the CCP was entering the capital of Nanjing and about to take over the nation. As a tactical shift, as Chiang called it, multiple ships departed from major ports in China: Qingdao, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Hainandao. While most of the people on the ship were military personnel, soldiers, and officers, they also included government workers and teachers. A few were also average citizens choosing to flee. At the time, Taiwan had a population of 6 million people, some on the island for generations, while others immigrated from China after World War II in 1945. These latest boats from China carried over 2 million people. Prior to the retreat, there were already a number of families from China in Taiwan, as the island was placed under Chiang Kai-shek's control after World War II. Now, an even larger number of military personnel were restationed in Taiwan. This meant their families came along as well. In order to accommodate the large influx of population, the Republic of China government, the government of the Chinese Nationalist Party, built military villages. While some military villages were modified from former Japanese government complexes and government dormitories, the government also seized land from local Taiwanese. These military villages became communities and brought a lot of traditions and cuisines to Taiwan. Northern Chinese foods such as dumplings and noodles were slowly incorporated into Taiwan's mainly rice-based diet. These military villages also created the now iconic Taiwanese beef noodle soup. The ROC government started to set up Taiwan as a base of attack to reclaim China. In order to build up its strength, they set up infrastructures across the island. Many government positions and teaching jobs were available, with high pays and benefits. The Chinese Taiwanese, originally from northern China, had an advantage as these positions required Mandarin. People whose families were originally from southern China, which include the Han Chinese who were already in Taiwan, were at a disadvantage as they had to learn a new language. Due to the systemic advantages and disadvantages established by the new government, the townspeople who had originally been on the island often felt that these immigrants were taking advantage of the local resources. Slowly, a divide began to form between the two groups, and a pair of labels developed: Benshengren and Waishengren. In essence, it was an us and them label. Benshengren translated to people of this province, Taiwan province, while Waishengren referred to people coming from outside of this province. The term Waishengren has a slightly negative connotation because it is used as a label for the Chinese that came after the war and had an advantage in the system. However, while the first and second generation of Chinese that came to Taiwan saw their home as China, the third generation born in the 90s tend to see Taiwan as their home. Slowly, the term Waishengren, Benshengren were only used to describe the older generation, while the youth referred to everyone as just Taiwanese. Click here to check out the other cultures of Taiwan. Subscribe to hear more of Taiwan stories. I'll see you around.